Hi everyone. I think this is going to be it for those joining. I know I was expecting a couple more people, but I'm grateful for the turnout. I know a lot of you, or a lot of people who were expecting to come, had a bit of trouble logging in, but I'm happy that you guys could come, and thank you so much for taking time. I know this is finals week and everyone's hectic and chaos all over, but thanks for coming. I know a couple of you. I know Stephanie, and I know Alex or Alexandria. But there's some of you I don't know. So I have a poll that I'm gonna launch, and if you guys could answer the poll, that would be great. So I could kind of get a feeling of the audience out there and your grade level, and the question on if you've done any volunteer work, because I'd love to know if you guys are experienced with this or if this is completely new to you. And regardless of the answer, everything's anonymous, and regardless of the answer, it's great because it's great to start and it's never too late. And for those who have done in the past, it's great to get to experience more because volunteer work is amazing. So I'll just leave that to the side so you guys can, I'll review at the end of the meeting to see, kind of get a feel for everything. But I guess to tell you guys a little bit about myself while you're answering that is my name. Hi, Daniela Marie Gonzalo. You might know my first name's a little bit tricky, so you guys can call me Marie. I am a student, a high school student, just like you guys. Well, I know a lot of you are high school students at least. A couple of you guys may be in middle school, I don't know. But I'm a high school student in 11th grade. I am 17 years old, and I guess tell you guys a little bit about this meeting, or to remind you or recap. This is a meeting on, not even a meeting, I like to call it orientation, on a group that I'd love to set up and ongoing. You guys are my first participants, I guess you could say. And it's a volunteer book, and it's a inspirational group as well. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start presenting it, I think, and just dive right in with you guys. So let me just give me a minute to present, okay?
Come on.
Okay, sorry, that took a bit longer than expected. I haven't really know to navigate Zoom. I think a lot of us use Google Meets now. So, this is MBS, which is short for Making Better Students. And if anybody wants to drop in the chat what they think that means, I'm just going to go ahead and explain it. Making better students. To me, when I was kind of thinking of the purpose of this group, this organization that I wanted to make, making better students meant having to define what a student was. And a student isn't anybody who goes to school, anybody who is looking for an academic, a scholar, if you would. Um, Making better students meant that anybody who is interested in what a student encompasses, it means that they are driven, they are determined, and they are committed. Because to be able to go to school every day, kind of like working a full-time job, and then you have homework, and that takes commitment. And sometimes we have students who lack in that and don't meet the expectations of being a student, what a student is supposed to be. So making better students meant kind of instilling those moral values, those ethical values, and that motivation back into students in a more peculiar way. Instead of telling the students, you have to do this or you have to do that because you won't fail, instead of putting ultimatums, rather motivate them in a sense where they can not only better themselves as people, but also better the world. MBS, Making Better Students. For this organization, my mission statement definitely was to teach students how to use their resources and take advantage of their opportunities so they could maybe improve their future while simultaneously teaching them to improve their present through building their character and helping others. So let's talk about this. Let's break this apart. To teach students how to use their resources and take advantage of their opportunities. Many students nowadays are maybe unmotivated or maybe find that just no significance in being a student. And so I want to teach and I want to share my experiences and I want to teach that we need to use our resources together, all of us as students, use our resources and take advantage of our opportunities. Use them to our capabilities because the system, the school system, the education system, whether statewide or federal, they are giving us these resources and these advantages, and we need to use them because we're not supposed to do this alone. We're meant to have help doing this. And I mean being a student and getting through school. So the next part states, so they may improve their future. So a student, I think what we all have in common is that we all share a common goal, and that's to get out of school, to get done with it, to just get it over with. And whether we feel sad at the end or happy, or we maybe feel scared because we don't know what comes next, we all kind of want to reach that end point though. We all want to reach that point to make that decision of what we're going to do. So, to better be equipped for when we reach that end goal, we want to already have set something up because a lot of times we'll reach that end point and we would have said, I just wasted 4 years of my life if we're talking about high school or all of school. I just wasted so much time. And now what am I going to do? I'm not equipped for anything. Well, to a certain degree, it's up to us to prepare ourselves. So we need to improve our future so that we know what to do when we get to that endpoint. And then the next part is while simultaneously teaching them to improve their present. So sometimes we are so fascinated by the future and we're so focused on the future that we tend to fail at that because we're not focused on the present, the day to day. When you envision this beautiful goal, you're kind of not thinking about how you're going to get there. You're just thinking about the end point. So, how are we going to get there? And what can we do right now to improve and gain some of that satisfaction of short-term goals? That's our present. We need to also know how to improve our present. And we're going to do that through building our character and helping others. So that's kind of the peculiar way of this club. I'm not going to, this is not just telling students, do this, do that, giving ultimatums. It's, we're going to be motivated and equipped by, you're going to build your character, become a better person, and you're going to do it by helping others. And you'll see how volunteer work is going to play a massive role in that. There's a quote I'd like to share. It says, "There is more happiness in giving than there is in receiving." Now, if you guys want to put in the chat, if anybody knows who said that, it's kind of a trick question in a way. I'd think of it as a trick question because giving happiness, for us, anybody to complete their goals, for it to be worth the while, you have to be happy while doing it. So that's improving the present. And if you to improve your present, you're going to be working towards your future when you do that. And you do that by giving, because as the quote says, there's more happiness in giving than there is in receiving. So let you guys put in the chat who you think did said that. And it was Jesus Christ actually, which is a little funny, I'd say. It's Jesus Christ said that, Jesus, the famous Jesus. So what's the problem? Why do we need clubs and organizations? Why are you guys here today? Well, what's the problem? Why aren't students doing this themselves? Why can't people figure out for themselves what they need to do right, how to reach their end goal, how to be happy, how to improve their future? What's the problem? Well, I think the number one that we could all agree on is lack of motivation. Motivation drives us to do almost everything in life. And if we're not motivated to do something, then we're just going to feel horrible doing it. We're not going to want to do it. And that's a big one, and I think we've all suffered from a little bit of lack of motivation during this past year. It's been very hard, and we need to give ourselves a lot more credit that we handled school so well. This complete adaptation, and I think we've learned a lot from that as well. So lack of motivation, that's a big problem. How are we going to fix that? How are we going to get motivated? How does one get motivated? Well, volunteer work is going to play a big role in that because we're by seeing others progress, by helping others, you're going to want to do that for yourself eventually. You're going to want to say, hey, if I can help others, if I can put a smile on someone else's face, why can't I do it on mine? You're going to slowly see that you're going to have the satisfaction of helping. When you help, when you volunteer, you're going to have the satisfaction of doing right, knowing that you're improving the world. However little portion or part you play in it, you're helping. You're doing something right, and that brings a sense of self fulfillment and self actualization. Nothing is feeling that our goals are unrealistic. Sometimes we have that motivation, but sometimes we have pessimism around us, or we have bad energy, bad vibes, and feeling that our goals are unrealistic. I personally also struggle with that. Thinking that, oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to go to the University of Miami or University of Florida, or I want to go to Cambridge or Columbia, Harvard, all these top tier schools, and we may feel that that's just unrealistic, and that dumbles down, and we get unmotivated from it. So, like with motivation, you'll see it plays a part in a lot of these. But sometimes when our goals are unrealistic, we may feel like, there's how am I going to do this? There's no way a person from Palm Beach County, is going to be able to, you know, go to top tier school with my grades. No way. But no, we can't think like that because there's so many resources, opportunities that we need to find, and I'm going to teach you guys how to find that. And that's what this organization and club is all about, teaching how to find those goals and proving that you can 100% make a plan and you can 100% reach your goals. Nothing is unrealistic, not in the academic world. And third problem would be feeling overwhelmed by the work you must put in to reach your goal. So sometimes you may think, yeah, okay, it's not unrealistic, but now I have to do all this. This is too much work. I can't. I'm not capable of it. So this problem is more about capability and belief in oneself. And let me tell you that through volunteer work, you're going to see that you're actually You're gonna meet a lot of people through volunteer work. You're gonna see that a lot of things you are capable of doing. You're capable of changing a lot of people's lives, and you're capable of changing your own life. And you can put in this work, and you will put in this work, and you're going to be able to, and it's going to be okay. You're going to come out bright and shining the other side. And the last one is a bit of a common excuse, I think I'd call it, more than a problem, more of an excuse that I hear. You can't find opportunities. And I hear this one a lot. It's an excuse, oh, yeah, I can do this and I can do that, but I can't find anything. I'm searching all these websites and all of them are just bombarding me with emails all the time. I think we've all known, I don't want to shout out any names there, but a lot of those scholarship websites are just always emailing you and they're just all propaganda, really, and spam. But not finding opportunities, I'm going to teach you guys how to find exactly the right ones, how to look for them. And that moves us to our next slide, which is the solution. You have to learn who to ask. Not, you can't just go to your teacher and ask your teacher because your teacher may not give you the right answer because your teacher's just there for the subject that they're teaching. They're not really going to know all these things. You have to learn the ins and outs of the administration in your school, and you have to learn who to ask. You can't just ask anybody. You got to ask specific people to get the right answer. Learn how to look. Often, when we're Googling things, often when we're just researching on our own, we don't really know exactly how to word it. So we have to learn how exactly we're going to word things, exactly how we need to look things up, what websites to go to. You can't just go to Wikipedia or you can't just go to some random blog website that talks about colleges because they're not going to, there may be a lot of them are updated. So you have to learn exactly how to look. Learn what to look for. A lot of the times, if you want to learn things about GPA or your end goal is to know what score you got on your SAT or from your PSAT, you can't exactly just look that up like that. We have to look up things like SAT, how is the SAT score? You know, a lot of times our exact question, we're not going to find the answer by Googling our exact question. We're going to have to find ways around our question and kind of through there look the right answer. It may sound a bit complicated at first, but you will get there. We were born into the social media generation, so we'll figure it. And I'll teach you guys. And understand why you're doing this. Why are you here today? Why do you want to improve your future? Why do you want to become a better student? A lot of the times, maybe you feel guilty. I know I have about, oh, I need to get my life together. I don't have this. I want to do this, and we just feel stuck. You just feel stuck, and that's a horrible place to be in because that's where a lot of mental health issues come from. We don't want that, and we want to maybe deal with that. If you already have them, you want to deal with that. You want to learn, you want to be better, improve them. And that's why you're doing this. You want to understand why you're doing this because if you don't, then you won't be able to really grasp any of the material that you'll learn. And a little bit about um, motivation, progress, improvement. If you notice, all the slides are kind of green and the symbol was green. And the reason I chose green for this organization is that green has been often is commonly represented as the color of hope, prosperity, progress, and improvement. And I think that's wonderful because that's what a student really is, I think. Someone who keeps improving, someone who keeps going up and up and up and who gets back down and gets up again, you know? So, oh, my slides are going haywire. Ah. One second, guys. All right. Okay. Dual enrollment, scholarships, college admissions, early admission, and community service. What do all of these have in common? I'd say what's on a student's mind, right? You want to learn about whether it's dual enrollment you're thinking about, whether it's scholarships, whether it's college admissions, if you're a junior or senior, if you're early admin, or if you're just trying to get your community service hours. All of these are legit reasons for why you're here, why you should be here, and what you can gain from this club and the knowledge and the material that you'll learn. and also opportunities, honestly. I advocate dual enrollment, early admission, very much so. And I've gotten, I'd say, three people into the dual enrollment program, which has been awesome to help them through. And they would have never heard of it if it wasn't for me telling them, if it wasn't for me sharing the word, they would have never heard of it. And I find that absolutely upsetting because sometimes I feel whether it's the students who aren't opening their ears or it's the administration who isn't opening their mouths to tell everybody about these opportunities, sometimes we have to look for ourselves and sometimes students don't know how to do that. So that's again, that's the whole point of this club, making better students. MBS is the whole point of this to teach you guys, to tell you, inform you. And a lot of that's going to come from a lot of time people join clubs for community service, and that's fine. I get it, but you want to be here also because you want to learn something, because you want to take something back. You need to take something back with you. And through volunteer work, you'll see that you'll learn how to do that. You'll learn social skills, you'll learn communication skills, you will learn so many things through volunteer work. The main thing when you volunteer, you are not giving, you are definitely receiving, I think. And a lot of times, people that goes unnoticed how much we actually take back from community service work. And I'm gonna stop presenting my screen right there. I'm just gonna talk to you guys. I'm gonna look at that poll to see what grade level you guys are in because I want to ask you guys some questions. I think that'd be great. Let me just